Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are, of course, out on the launch pad again today. This is another, or the second of our updated liquid fuel slugs that we're sending off to our Mars station. Since our relative inclination is appropriate, we'll go ahead and fire up these engines and get these clamps off. One of these flew successfully last time, so I'm sure you're quite familiar with it. I think this is the last of the liquid fuel slugs that I'll be sending out to Mars this window, because of course we're about almost 18 days past the window itself. And we still have two life support slugs that I would like to send out. They did get a redesign. They are based off of this. I will be kind of showing them off a bit later, I guess. It's really just I took the tanks that were on the slug itself, the cargo portion, and changed them from service module to life support. And that was the extent of the changes. I increased their size just a little bit because we could handle the tonnage, so why not? So I'm going to try to finagle this little guy to orbit despite his little shimmy dance. And I'll pick all of you up there, so see you in a bit. As far as launches go, this one was pretty clean, by the book, and nothing very interesting to report, which at this point I know makes for less than stellar YouTube images, but I was certainly very happy with it, and I think I'm finally figuring out how to best fly with these HG3s. We do still have a little bit of a persistent wiggle, but it's very, very manageable at this point. And, well, coming up here on booster SIP. There they go. So, yeah, that itty-bitty little translation wiggle, which doesn't really get picked up or become very noticeable by all this sped-up footage, but it is there, but it also wasn't causing me a huge headache, and it certainly wasn't looking like it was going to shake itself apart, and it didn't break up on launch. So, I'd say this redesign has definitely passed the mustard. We've got one successful on the way already. This is going to be the second, hopefully successful one, although I would be greatly benefited by locking these fuel tanks while still in the VAB and not trying to do it when I've got like a minute or two to apoapsis. I'm just trying to very quickly rush and get all of these tanks locked before I have to unlock the RCS system and use those control thrusters. But, I don't know, I'm never quite sure what to say when everything's going according to plan, other than, you know, this was A+. Observe its A+iness and sped up time warped footage, and I will try desperately to think of something interesting to say here in post, but probably fall short. But I am very happy with this launch profile. I know I've mentioned that already. It was a very textbook flight to orbit. Very efficient as far as steering losses and gravity losses and stuff like that go. I've not checked the numbers, but it just looked good, and I'm very happy with it. And we're going to get a solid transfer out of what's left out of this upper stage. So coming up on the end of it, so I'll turn you back over to old me. Yeah, we're going to call that an orbit, 256 by 205. Not bad, 5,200 left in the tank. That should be more than enough to cover our transfer burn, which I will get to setting that target right now. There we go. Yes, we know, MacJim. Maneuver planner, should have had that open anyway, and I probably went the exact wrong way. Transfer to another planet, it's not calculating. There we go. As soon as possible, anytime now, 4.1. That is going down, isn't it? Create node. Fantastic. We'll take it. Oh, I should probably leave that open because I know that I'm going to need it to make an adjustment later. Oh good, our burn is in 34 minutes. That is perfect. Because we have another spacecraft that needs a correction burn very, very soon. Like within a day or so. Yeah, our life support slug. I think the only one that actually made it. And it was still riddled with problems, but it's on its way. We just have about a 300 and some odd meter per second correction to make to put it on a collision course with Mars. And then you can see the rest of our flights here happening. The liquid fuel slug, the other model of these that we sent out, has a correction burn about 32 days. Life support that's build time complete. Yeah, and that's the first of the life support variant of this slug. Probing McProbe face will make a correction in 175 days right before it gets there. And then 197 days, the Venus Return Project will be making its departure burn. We got a lot of stuff coming down the chute here. Just, I mean, 1932, 45, and I guess a jump from 45 to 175 is pretty big. So there'll probably be another launch in here somewhere. Of course, we're going to try to throw this other life support slug to Mars, because that's the only thing keeping this mission from being green lit. The crewed portion of it, anyway, is that we need to have enough life support there to sustain them at least until the next window. Although the adjusted plan right now calls for launching not only the crew and the lander, but another life support slug as well. And well, we're just gonna have to see how that goes. I really don't like throwing so many things at one planet at one time, because it makes the arrivals very hectic, and having to do all these corrections and then trying to match orbits and all the docking is going to be so much fun. Like take a day off work, buy a bottle of whiskey kind of fun. Anyway, we're coming up on our node. I actually found enough stuff to talk through one of these, but we are going to time warp around to actual burn time. I am just going to let's turn RCS and stability assist back on this time. I am not doing another one of these without stability assist. That was horrible. I'm sure I've pointed it out by now, but never again. Never forget. And greatest apologies here, because I can never get that manual time warpy thing right, and I probably never will. So, sorry about that. Alright, it's about 4.5 minutes till our burn. Burn time guesstimation is 6 minutes 33 seconds, so we do have some time to burn down. We will use it by laying on our RCS and ullaging in this engine for like 10 solid minutes. And we can put Kerbal Alarm Clock away. That's just too much screen time. Sorry I left that up for so long. Yeah, feel free to drift well off the node, sir. Boom. Sorry, I should have come out of time warp before lighting that, but it was time, and we needed to press go. So we did. We pressed go. Alright, we'll just make that a smaller window, so less obtrusive with all its funny colors, distracting you from the real thing that's happening here, which is planet shine. Wow, that was nowhere near what I meant to do. There, yes. These engines burn mighty bright. Were there someone down there to see? I'm sure they'd have quite a sight. Yeah, maybe there is. Oh well. Alright, I'll pick you guys up at the tail end of this burn. And quite thankfully, we'll continue our trend of entirely uninteresting engine run times. I'm actually quite relieved at this point that nothing interesting actually happened. And I did not forget to turn on the SAS this time. So I did not have to fly this whole thing manually. I could just kind of sit back and enjoy the view. I hope you guys do too. Alright, well, we are within 4.2 meters per second. I'm just going to open up this tank and use the added thruster power from our tug here. And see if we can't just clean this up a little bit. Although I'm wondering, since we're only about a minute past the node, we started 3 minutes before it, we're probably way off. But I will choose instead to say that MechJeb has lied to us. Alright. We could nip some of that rotation right in the bud. That'd be great. Alright. Use a little physics warp here. Almost there. Almost there. Come on, little dude. Yeah, 0.1. Oh, we have no connection, so I can't turn my RCS off. That's fine. Wow, do we... No, we're totally not at all even. Yeah. Thanks. And let's just see what MechJev has to say for himself. Create node. That's not any better, dude. 24 days. Focus view. Let's see if I can't. Well, let's see if we can't use this to just tweak some changes. There. See, all you do is like slow down just a little bit. Let's see what we can't figure out. It occurs to me that maybe I should have like a special song to play whenever I'm just doing sped up footage of tinkering with nodes, because I spend a lot of time tinkering with nodes. See, that's so much better, MechJeb. See how much nicer things can be? 143 meters per second in 24 days. That is not bad. Not bad at all. We'll take a quick save. We'll jump back to the boat. And we'll set curl alarm clock. Add alarm. Yeah, 24 days. Add alarm. Oh, you know what else we can do? Open that up. Lock. No, we can just do these one at a time, can't we? Because it's all going into one tank. Alt, in. Thank you. Lock you open, please. Just because I'm cheap. Like that. And we need to go ahead and get rid of this HD3S4B upper. Out. Perfect. That wasn't so bad. Oh yeah, that's what has to happen. Okay, and make sure our comms are fired up. Activate. We're gonna want those for later. I'm glad we got connection back. I didn't even check to see if that was a thing. And you have targeted Earth. Fantastic. And decouple. Push ourselves away just a little bit. There we go. Alright, and our second... This is fuel. Yep, okay. Good. Already forgot what I was doing. Our second of our updated liquid fuel slugs is on its way to Mars. We've got a correction in about 24 days. We will get to that sometime later. We have a more pressing correction to get to first. Sorry, Kerbal Alarm Clock gets to come back. Well, first, I'm going to quick save in case this thing explodes. Things have a tendency to do that. Quick saving. Thank you. Alright. 1 day, 18 hours. Jump to ship. Alright, no explosions. That's fantastic. And while I'm sitting here at the VAB, oh yeah, nothing's done. It's going to be a while. So, I totally didn't need to start. I'm in the habit of like, I need to roll things out to the launch pad every single time I'm done with stuff. Not this time. The launch pad gets a little break. I know the crews that have been refurbing that stuff have just been drowning in concrete or whatever it is they do to get the pad ready again between launches. A lot of replacement of very scorched things. Alright, and let me just pull up our power draw. Yeah, we are still showing a draw on our electric charge. This is the one that only has 2 RTGs. Not anything we can shut down, but we're pretty topped off. I'm sure we'll make it for a day. Here's hoping. Oh boy, maybe we won't make it for a day. That's only a few hours. Oh boy, big problems. Yeah, we're still 19 hours out. We lost all of that. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Is your avionics shut down? We'll try that. Shut down avionics. It's going to take about 30 seconds for the command to get there. We should see a decrease in our power draw. Maybe. Yeah, let me bring a flight computer and make sure. Oh yeah, 10 more seconds. See? Impatient. Yeah. We got rid of about a quarter of it. We still have avionics control because this has the 1 ton or the 1 meter unit up here that'll control 150 tons, which I'm sure is well below our fighting weight right now. Can we make it to the node? No, 2 hours out. I think we can handle this. 40 some odd minutes. We're going to go, I know this isn't much, but we're going to go ahead and shut down our short range. We don't really need it for anything. Yeah, that did pretty much nothing to our power draw. We have lights on here. Yeah, I already turned the lights off. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So we're going to have to game the system a bit on this one. As far as just ignoring it entirely until it's practically in Mars's atmosphere. And hope that we recover some of this battery. I don't know. I think it's not unreasonable to pretend that even that 1 ton core could be put to sleep in long duration missions. 11 minutes. It's only 300 some odd meters per second, but it's not going to tell me how long that's going to take. So there's that. Probably longer than 5 minutes. All right. Oh God, did I just turn RCS off? I did. Toggle it again. Ullage in the engines. Stable ignition. Yes. Yeah, maybe it's just me, but it felt like there was a little bit of a wobble. Something a little bit off center. It wouldn't surprise me if these tanks were off center from the retractable poles they rest on. Yeah, because they just might be. Alright, come on. I need you to be kind of accurate with this, which means I needed to have started this burn minutes later. None of these engines have an alternator, so we're not producing any real electric charge. There is a wobble we're fighting with. It probably has a lot to do with the engines being spaced out the way they are. See if that doesn't help correct it a bit. Yeah, a little bit. These engines do not throttle, so 25 meters a second, 15, 10, shut down. Within 2.1. We'll see if we can't just solve this out just a bit. We have lots of very powerful RCS systems on board. They're also not particularly efficient, but you know, whatever. Alright, so now that we're firing into our node, let's take a look and CR... okay. Yeah. Thanks for that. Kerbal alarm clock. You are also a liar. Focus view. Hey, look at this. We do have an encounter. Oh, dude. And we'll just bring that right into the atmosphere. So we don't have to make any more changes until we get there. That's a little low. No big deal. F5. Kill that node. Thank you. I hope it quick saved. I wasn't paying attention. Kerbal alarm clock. Add alarm. SOI change. Add alarm. Fantastic. Alright. Well. Very shocked to be pulling some kind of success out of this thing. It is a lot of food, water, and oxygen. 240. I think one of these tanks carries about the same amount of food, water, and oxygen that the updated life support tank will be carrying on the new tug. The one that doesn't shake itself apart or have problems with its avionics control or power draw. So, provided this one survives, this is conceivably the most valuable life support tank that we could be getting there. But, I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep it alive. We might have to dispatch another tug to go rescue it. Hopefully. Hopefully not. Let's see what happens. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and I'll see all of you in the next one. So, until then, see you later. Alright, so, not quite. Sorry if I've lied to you, but I do have some very sad news to report. Our M-RoV, which was almost to the halfway point of his very long trek to Mars' South Pole, has had a bit of an accident. You see, there was a controller core towards the center that was offset about 90 degrees from this base probe body, and that gave us good control authority for steering and driving the wheels, because for some reason the body core is pointing straight up, as if it were, you know, like on a rocket or something. But it thinks forward is straight above it, so it's constantly trying to adjust that to be, I don't know, facing down the horizon, which it is not. Somehow we lost that rotated core, and so now it can't navigate itself. And not only can it not navigate itself, but I can't navigate it either, because it thinks forward is up, and not even docking controls is going to solve this. So we may have reached mission's end for poor little M-RoV. He did get halfway there, so I will give him credit. But it's a sad, sad day. So that is actually going to do it for this episode. Thank you very much for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Until then, see you later.